Ignacio.
Hello, Elsa. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm very good, thank you.
First of all, thank you for joining me today. I am happy to see you here. And are you excited for what I'm going to ask you?
Yeah, very, very excited.
All right. So, first question is, can you tell me where are you from?
I was born and raised in La Paz, Bolivia, South America.
All right.
And I have three nationalities, Spanish, Chilean, and Bolivian.
Very, very interesting. And what is the common language between these all?
Basically Spanish, and in Spain I'm from Catalonia, where we speak Catalan.
So the Spanish language is different from the Catalan language?
Yes, of course.
Can you give me two examples of one word pronounced in this and one in other? Like the same word, how do we pronounce it?
For example, a good example is rojo, which is red. In Catalan it's vermell.
Oh, that's
So
totally
it's
different then.
But there are certain words that are very similar. Like, for example, hola, ¿cómo estás? Which is hi, how are you? In Catalan is hola, ¿cómo estás? Which is very similar.
Yes, I see. All right, how many languages do you speak?
I speak 4 languages: Catalan, Spanish, English, and German.
Interesting. And do you feel like you master them all at the same level?
No. I think obviously Spanish is my first language.
Uh-huh.
Then between Catalan and English, which I speak very well, and then German, which is the last language I learned.
All right, let's take the part of the English language, which is our focus topic for today, because the discussion is going to be in English, and we are going to also discuss the journey of learning English, etc.
Okay.
So, when did you start learning English, and how was the journey? Was it like something that since you were born, or you learned it after your first language?
Obviously, I learned it after my first language, after Spanish, but I've been speaking English since I was a little kid, probably 5 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And when was the first time you spoke English?
My mother, she studied in the US, so she spoke to me in English, English and Spanish. And I went to an American school, so I had to speak English at school. And I lived in Australia, where I mastered my English.
Oh, I see. So, do you remember the first time you spoke in English to people in front of you?
Probably in school when I was a kid.
Okay, so it was not just about receiving information, listening. So you spoke to people at school, right?
Yeah, I had to speak English when I was taking classes, so I had to take notes and listen to the teacher in English. So yeah, it's pretty natural to me.
That's really interesting. And regarding the work experience, did you find that English helped you to find opportunities and to find more job offers just because you speak English, or you think that even just with the other 3 languages that you had are enough?
No, 100%. You have to speak English. I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't speak English.
Really?
So yeah, of course. I think I've been speaking English my whole life. And it has helped me a lot. For example, when I lived in Australia, when I lived in Sweden, in Germany, and now here in Malta. Yeah.
What is your favorite language?
Spanish.
Spanish, okay. How do you feel when you, first of all, do you feel obliged because you are working with people who speak English? Do you sometimes prefer to speak Spanish, or you are now used to speak English and you don't have issue with that?
I don't have any issues when speaking English. I think now it feels pretty natural.
Okay.
But sometimes I get tired because I have to speak. Yeah, because I have to speak English the whole day, and sometimes I don't want to speak English. I need to speak some Spanish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you feel more relaxed and more comfortable when you speak Spanish, right? Even though
100%.
you started speaking English at a very young age.
Yeah, 100%. Because in Spanish you have more words to describe things, so I actually can express myself in a much better way in Spanish.
Okay. Are you that very expressive person that you need more vocabularies to use? English vocabularies are not enough?
I'm not very expressive,
Okay.
but when you have more words to describe things, you can actually describe them in a better way. Because I think English is more direct. So sometimes it's good because it's very direct, easy.
Yeah.
But if you want to explain things in a more detailed manner, I think Spanish is better.
Good. And Do you select your words, or how you speak in English depends on the situation or to whom you are talking to?
No, I think it's just natural. It's just like having a conversation. So when I speak English, I don't have, well, good thing is I don't have to think before I speak.
Nice.
Because it's very natural.
Okay.
But that's basically
Okay.
it.
When do you consider someone is fluent in English? Let's say you are talking to someone. Are you that kind of people who you would talk to someone and focus on their pronunciation, on their phrasing, how they phrase their sentences, their grammar, or you just focus on the content without focusing on the other stuff?
I think when you speak with someone and that person speaks very fluently, you can tell right away because of how they pronounce things or how they speak. If they speak fast, for example, because people that are learning, they have trouble when they're pronunciating certain things, or they speak slow. They have to think before they speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty easy to tell.
Good. And do you remember a funny moment where you struggled to find like words in English and you had them in mind in Spanish?
Many times.
Really?
Many times. Yeah, actually, there's certain times where I have to speak something in English and I don't find the right word.
Okay.
I say the word in Spanish, but no one understands what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it happens not very frequently, but it happens. Yeah, it's
Alright.
pretty normal.
And, good. And how do you find yourself? Working with people and also communicating. Now you are in Malta, and basically all the country speaks in English. They have their Maltese language, but also the used language is English. So living in a country where like the common language is English, do you sometimes miss meeting people like from Spain, talking to people in Spanish, or you already have your friends here?
I miss it sometimes, yeah, but I speak with my family, with my girlfriend in Spanish, and all my friends here speak English. Okay. So I have to speak English the whole time. And I think when a lot of people here actually speak English, but they don't speak it properly.
Okay.
So I think my level is decreasing because they don't speak English as their first tongue, so
yes.
They don't speak the proper English. So a lot of times I'm speaking with them, and I think I don't know how to say it, but when I'm speaking with them, I use a lousy English as well to express myself, like they do. So I think my level of English is actually going down.
Yeah. Are you interested to learn any other language?
Yes, of course. I would like to master German a little bit more, and Italian. I love Italian. I think it's very easy because it's very similar to Spanish.
Yes, and you have the accent already. You said I love Italian.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's.
So the accent is ready. You just need the.
I just need the words and vocabulary. Yeah, exactly.
All right, good. The final question is: what is your advice to people who would like to learn languages in general and English specifically? It is very interesting to see someone who speaks 4 languages, who can manage to different conversations, and something that is when you speak different languages, you have different cultures in mind. Do you agree with that? It means that you understand different cultures, different people, because languages, sometimes you adapt the language and the culture of the language as well. Maybe for you, Spanish is your native, so that's who you are. English as well, you started from a very young age. But German, do you see sometimes like when you speak in German, your personality changes or no?
Yeah, definitely. For example, in Latin America, Spain, we have a similar culture. So when I change accent sometimes. So when I'm speaking with a Bolivian guy or a Chilean guy or a Spanish guy, I pick up certain words from the place.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think definitely my attitude changes because the words you use are different.
Yeah.
And I think with German is similar because German is a pretty straightforward language.
Yes.
So it's like the culture. They're very straightforward. They like things to be really fast, efficient. So when you speak languages, it's similar. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
yes.
I actually got German classes for 2 years, but I forgot it because I didn't practice that, which is something that most of people doing when they don't practice the language, they just forget it.
Yeah, I think what helped me a lot is like obviously I went to an American school, so I had to speak English the whole time.
Okay.
And I was always listening to music, TV shows, movies, everything was in American English, like 90% of the time.
Okay.
So I think I picked a lot of words from the US vocabulary. So I think it helps a lot when you train your brain to do everything in English.
Yeah, can you share with us what are the things that helped you, apart from watching movies or series, listening to music, what are the other practices you did to improve? Because I know that English, I mean, like, improves day on day. Every day we have new expression, new word, and then from one generation to another, we have different, I mean, like, way of speaking. Do you, I mean, like, do something to be up to date with what's happening with the English language, or you just like watch, let's say, TV programs and you can catch from there?
Well, I watch a lot of content in English, so I read news, I watch YouTube videos, so I think these videos are updated, so
yes.
I know what are the latest trends of words.
Yes.
I think that helps a lot, and something that helps a lot as well is that you have to like the language. So if you like the language, you're more keen to practice more, have a better accent, because the people I have met that have better English, they all like speaking English.
Yes.
For example, if you don't like the language, how are you going to learn?
Exactly.
So
that's
I think
very valid and interesting point.
Yeah.
You need to like, or you need to love the language that you are trying to learn, or anything that you want to do, you need to like it first to be able to do it successfully.
Exactly. Like obviously my school was American, but a lot of the people didn't speak proper English because they didn't like it. So if you compare me between, I don't know, a regular guy in my school, probably my English is better, but that's because I love the language. So I loved TV shows, music, so I was always training my brain in English. So I think that helped me a lot.
Very interesting. And the last question we are going to end with is, what is your advice to people who just started to learn English?
What can I say to them? Maybe practice, learn, and enjoy it. I think that's the most important thing.
Yes, enjoy it is...
enjoy it, yeah.
Yes.
100%.
All right. Thank you so much, Ignacio.
Thanks for having me here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.